In the previous lecture, we have discussed about Cauchy integral theorem. So, if a function fz is analytic in a simply connected domain, suppose this is a simply connected domain D. So, if a function fz is analytic in this domain, then integral along any simple closed curve C, this is a simple closed curve. So, integral along any simple closed curve C, Lz dz will be 0. Okay. Now, if we have a simply connected domain D, and if we take a point z0 here, okay, so this z0 is in D, in the simply connected domain. D is the simply connected domain, and if we take z0 is in D. And if we take a simple closed curve C enclosing z0, okay, C is a simple closed curve enclosing z0, then we can find the value of this function fz at the point at z0. Here fz is analytic. Fz is analytic in this simply connected domain D. Then we can find the value of this function fz at this point z0 by using Cauchy integral formula. So this formula is fz0 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integral C fz, the given function, upon z minus z0 dz. This is Cauchy integral formula. F of the value of this function at z0 will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integral C fz upon z minus z0 dz. So here we have taken fz as an analytic function, but here you can see that inside this integral we have taken the function, this is fz upon z minus z0. So if I write capital Fz is equal to fz upon z minus z, if I suppose this function as capital Fz, so you can see that this capital Fz is fz upon z minus z0. So this capital Fz is not analytic, because this capital Fz will not be analytic when we take z equal to z0, and z equal to z0 is inside this simple closed curve C. It means this capital Fz is not analytic, this integrand is not analytic, but the given function fz is analytic. This is the numerator fz, which is analytic in the given domain D. Okay, so we have this formula, we can use this formula to find the value of this analytic function at any point z0, where z0 is inside this domain D. Okay, and this C should be traversed in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, C should be traversed in anti-clockwise direction. So by using this formula, we can find the value of the function at the point z0. So we have an application of this formula that we can find. So by using this formula, we can write this integral. We can find the value of this integral. This integral C fz upon z minus z0 dz, this will be equal to 2 pi I into fz0. 2 pi I into fz0. So this formula is more useful. We can find the value of an integral fz upon z minus z0 dz is equal to 2 pi I into fz0. fz0 is the value of this function at the point z0. So if we have on the left hand side a function like this fz upon z minus z0, so its integral will be 2 pi I into fz. Now we see the uses of this formula. So for this we can take some examples. So let us take one example, that if we have integral C z square plus 1 upon z square plus 9 dz, and the given simple closed curve C is mod z minus 2i equal to 2. Okay. So we have to find the value of this integral. Integral C, z square plus 1 upon z square plus 9 dz, and C is the given circle mod z minus 2i equal to 2. First of all, we will see what is this given contour. So we can make this contour, since this is mod of the form mod z minus a equal to r, so it means it is a circle with center at 2i and radius is 2. Okay, so we can make a circle whose center is at 2i. 2i means it is on imaginary axis. So suppose this is I and this is 2i. So this is the center of the circle and radius is 2. So we can make a circle with radius 2 and center at 2i. Okay, so suppose this is the circle with center at 2i and radius is 2. So now the given function is this, z square plus 1 upon z square plus 9. So we can see that this function will not be analytic if the denominator is 0. So the denominator will be 0 at the point when z square plus 9 equal to 0. That is, from here we can find z equal to plus minus 3i. Okay. So, but the numerator is z square plus 1, which will be analytic everywhere. Only the denominator will be 0 at these points, z equal to plus minus 3i. So here we can see that z equal to 3i. Since this is 2i, this is the radius 2, this is 2i, so this will be 3i. Okay, and minus 3i will be minus i minus 2i minus 3i. Okay, so we can see that z equal to 3i lies inside C, inside this circle C, and z equal to minus 3i lies outside C. So it means there is only one point z equal to 3i which lie inside C. Now the given integral is this. Suppose this is I, so this will be equal to integral C z square plus 1 upon z square plus 9. We can write this as integral C z square plus 1 upon, we can write z square plus 9 as z plus 3i into z minus 3i dz. Okay, so here we can see that this z equal to 3i lies inside C only. So it means if we write this function as integral C z square plus 1 upon z plus 3i and upon z minus 3i. We can write the given function like this. So here you can see that the given function is not analytic at z equal to 3i, because z equal to minus 3i lies outside C. So there is only one point at which this function is not analytic. So we can, if we write this like this, so here you can see that the numerator z square plus 1 upon z plus 3i, this numerator will be analytic inside this C. Okay, and z equal to the whole is not analytic at z equal to 3i. So here we cannot use Cauchy integral theorem, because in Cauchy integral theorem the whole function should be analytic. So we cannot use Cauchy's theorem here. But we can use here Cauchy integral formula, because in Cauchy integral formula, if the numerator is analytic, then we can use Cauchy integral formula. Here this part is analytic, the whole is not analytic. So here we use that. By using Cauchy's formula, we can write integral C fz upon z minus z naught dz is equal to 2 pi I into f of Z naught. Okay. So what is Z naught here? Z naught is this 3i. Okay. This is Z naught. Here Z naught is 3i. What is Fz here? Fz will be this numerator. Z square plus 1 upon Z plus 3i. Okay. This is Fz. So first of all, we will find the value of this function at this Z naught. So f at Z naught. So we will put here Z equal to 3i. So this will be 9i square, that is minus 9. Minus 9 plus 1 is minus 8 upon 3i plus 3i is 6i. Okay. So this is minus 8 upon 6i. This is the value of Fz naught. Now we put all these values in this formula. So we have now integral C, this Z square plus 1 upon Z plus 3i upon Z minus 3i dz. This integral will be equal to 2 pi I into Fz naught, and the value of Fz naught is this minus 8 upon 6 pi. Okay. So after solving, we can find this is equal to minus, this I will be cancelled. So this is equal to minus 8 pi 3 pi. This is equal to minus 8 by 3 pi. Okay. So this is the value of this integral. What is this integral? This integral is the given integral I. Okay. We can also write this is equal to I. So the value of this given integral I, this will be equal to minus 8 pi by 3. So in this way we can use Cauchy integral formula to find the value of such integrals. Integral C cos 2z upon z square minus 2z plus 5 dz, and C is the given contour mod z minus 1 minus 2i equal to 2. So we can see that we can compare this with mod z minus a equal to r. So here a will be 1 plus 2i and r will be 2. It means this will be a circle with center at 1 plus 2i. So it means we can say the center is at 1 comma 2 and the radius is 2. Okay. So we can make a circle with center at 1 comma 2. Suppose this is 1 and this is 2. So this is the center at 1 comma 2 and radius is 2. So if we take radius 2, this one, and if we take radius this is equal to 2. So this will be a circle with center at 1 comma 2 and radius 2. Now the given function is cos 2z upon z square minus 4z plus 5. Again the numerator is a trigonometric function cos 2z. This will be analytic everywhere. We have to see the denominator. So the denominator will be 0 when z square minus 4z plus 5 equal to 0. So we can find the value of z from here. So z equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2 into a. A is 1 here. So this will be equal to 4 plus minus, this will be minus 4, that is 2i upon 2. So this will be equal to 2 plus minus I. So these are 2 points, the two values of z, z equal to 2 plus I and 2 minus I. Now we see that whether these points lie inside the given circle or outside the given circle. Okay. If these two values of z lie outside the circle, then we can use Cauchy theorem, and by using Cauchy theorem the integral will be 0 because those points at which the function is not analytic, those will be outside. But first we will see. So z equal to 2 plus I. 2 plus I means 2 comma 1 point. So we can see that this is 1, 2. So this is 2 and this is 1. So 2 comma point, 1 point will be here. It means this is inside C. This will be in the first quadrant, it will be in the circle of radius 2. So this is inside. Now 2 minus I. So the value of x is 2 here and minus I. Minus I means in the negative I axis. So this will be here 2 minus I. This point is 2 minus I and this point is 2 plus I. So we can clearly see that 2 minus I will be outside this circle, outside this contour. So only one point is inside this contour. Okay. So this z equal to 2 plus I lies inside C. only z equal to 2 plus I lie inside C. Now we can write the given function again. Suppose this is I, so we can write this integral I as integral C cos 2z upon this z square minus 4z plus 5. If we write in terms of fractions, this will be z minus 2 plus I and into z minus 2 minus I, okay, dz. So at this point, when we take z equal to 2 plus I, at this point the function will not be anything. So again we can rearrange this function as integral C cos 2z upon, we will take with the numerator this term z minus 2 minus I, and in the denominator we will write this term z minus 2 plus I. Okay, dz. So here you can see that the numerator cos 2z upon z minus 2 minus I will be analytic, because if we put here z equal to 2 plus I, if we put here z equal to 2 plus I, there will be no problem. So this numerator is analytic. Only the we cannot take the denominator. So now it is clear that we cannot use Cauchy's theorem here, but we can use Cauchy integral formula. So this is something like integral C fz upon z minus z naught dz. So here we can use Cauchy's integral formula, which is integral C fz upon z minus z naught dz. This is equal to 2 pi I f at z naught. Okay, so we can use this formula here, 2 pi I f z naught, where z naught is what here? Z naught is this point which is inside C, that is 2 plus I. So here if we use this formula, we can write this is equal to 2 pi I fz. What is fz here? Fz is this numerator, cos 2z upon z minus cos 2z upon z minus 2 minus I. This is fz here. So this is 2 pi f at z naught. So this is fz at z equal to z naught is 2 plus I. So we will write here z equal to 2 plus I. So we will put this point here, z equal to 2 plus I. So when we put this here, z equal to 2 plus I, so 2 plus I minus 2 plus I, 2 will be cancelled, this will be 2I, and now this will be equal to 2 pi I cos 2z, z is 2 plus I upon, here we get 2I. So 2I will be cancelled, so the remaining is pi cos 4 plus 2I. Okay, so this is the value of the integral pi cos 4 plus 2I, the value of this integral. Integral C this. So first of all we have written this in this form, this the given function, this form cos 2z upon this into this, and here we see that z equal only z equal 2 plus I lies inside C. So by using Cauchy's integral formula, we can find the value of the integral pi cos 4 plus 2I. Previous example we have seen that if we have a function like this, integral C fz upon z minus z naught dz, that is if we have an analytic function in the numerator and in the denominator we have a factor like this z minus z naught, so we can find the value of this integral. This will be equal to 2 pi I f at z naught. This was Cauchy's integral formula. So we can find all integrals of the type whenever the numerator is an analytic function and the denominator we have a factor like this z minus z naught. Okay, what was z naught? Z naught is the point inside that given contour. Now what will happen if here we have something like z minus z naught square or z minus z naught cube or some other power of z minus z naught? So we cannot use this Cauchy integral formula because this is only for the power 1. Here the power is 1 only. So what we will do? So in that case we will use some other formulas, and that are known as Cauchy integral formula for derivatives. So again now we take a simply connected domain D. Suppose we take a simply connected domain D and let us take a point z naught inside this D, And now we take a contour. Suppose we have this contour C, enclosing the point Z0. Okay. So now, if we take a function fz, which is analytic in D, then all derivatives of fz will exist and they will be analytic also. Okay. All derivatives means f dash z, f double dash z, f triple dash z, and so on exist, and analytic also in D, in this domain D. Okay. And now we have this formula that f nth derivative at z0. This is equal to, we have a general formula for nth derivative of f at z0, where z0 is this point. This is equal to n factorial upon 2 pi I integral c fz upon z minus z0 raised to the power n plus 1. So we have this formula for the derivative of an analytic function, the Cauchy integral formula for the derivatives, or we can also say that this is derivatives of the formula for the derivatives of analytic function, because we have here nth derivative of this fz, where fz is analytic, and at the point z0, where z0 is this point inside this C. So this will be equal to n factorial upon 2 pi I integral c along this contour C fz upon z minus z0 to the rest of the power n plus. Again we can see that fz is analytic, but this whole integral inside this, the whole integrand will not be analytic, because here we have the point z minus z0. We have this factor and z0 is inside this circle C. Okay, a circle or maybe in any other contour. So we have this formula for the derivatives of an analytic function, where we can put n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. So suppose we want to find a formula for the second derivative or first derivative, suppose. So whenever, if we put n equal to 1 here, so if we take n equal to 1, here we get first derivative at z0. This will be equal to 1 factorial will be 1. So 1 upon 2 pi I integral c fz upon z minus z0 whole square. When we put here n equal to 1, we get this is whole square. So we have this formula for the first derivative at the point z0. Or we can also write this formula, we can also find from this formula if we want to find the integral. So this integral c fz upon z minus z0 square dz. So what this integral will be equal to? This is equal to 2 pi I f dash z0. So this will be equal to 2 pi I f dash at z0. Okay. So again you can see that you can find the value of this integral, where we have this is integral fz upon z minus z0 square. So we have seen in the Cauchy integral formula that here we have integral fz upon z minus z power 1 only. We can use the Cauchy integral formula only when the denominator has power 1. But now we have a formula in which we have the power of z minus z0 as 2. So we can use this formula if we have functions like this, that is fz upon z minus z0 square dz. So we can find the values of such integrals. Also, if we put n equal to 2, so here it will be f double dash, that is second derivative, double derivative, f dash and z0. So here if we put n equal to 2, this will be 2 factorial, that is 2, or I will write 2 factorial upon 2 pi I integral c fz upon z minus z0. When we put here n equal to 2, it will be 3 power 3 cube dz. Okay. So again we can find from here, if we want to find the value of this integral, so this integral will be fz upon z minus z0 cube dz. This will be equal to 2 pi I upon 2 factorial, 2 pi I upon 2 factorial, and f's double derivative at z. In this way, we can find the value of all such integrals. Whenever we have a function like this, fz or upon something z minus z naught square or cube and so on, maybe power 4 or 5. Suppose here we have power 4. So here we get 2 pi upon 3 factorial. Okay, and this is equal to f double derivative. In that case, it will be triple derivative z naught. Okay, we have integral c dz upon z minus 2y squared z plus 2y, where c is x square plus 4y minus 2 square equal to 4. So here we can see that we have in the denominator a factor like this z minus 2y whole square. So we cannot use Cauchy's formula here, because Cauchy's formula is only for the power 1. If we have power 1, only then we can use Cauchy's formula. But here we have power 2, so we will use Cauchy's formula for the derivatives, Cauchy integral formula for the derivatives. Okay. Now here we see that the given contour is x square plus 4y minus 2 square equal to 4. So we will see what will be this contour here. So if we write this as x square, if we divide this by 4, so x square upon 4 plus y minus 2 square upon 1 will be equal to 1. So we can see that this is the equation of the ellipse in the form x square upon a square plus y square upon b square equal to 1. So this is the equation of the ellipse. So this is the ellipse with vertex. What is the vertex of this ellipse? Here we can see that from here we have 0 and from here we have 2. So the vertex of this ellipse is at 0, 2. So this is an ellipse with vertex 0, 2. And what will be the length of the major axis? We can compare this with x square upon a square. So a equal to 2 here, y square upon b square, so b equal to 1 here. So if a equal to 2, it means the length of the semi-major axis is 2. So the length of the major axis will be 4. Yeah? So we can see that here we have the vertex at 0, 2. So 0, 2 will be on y-axis. So suppose we have this is 1, this is 2. So this is the vertex of the ellipse at 0, 2. Okay. Now this is the vertex of the ellipse and the length of the major axis is 4. So here if we take this is 1 and this is 2. So suppose this is the length of semi-major axis 2 here and this is 2 here. And the length of the semi-minor axis is 1. So the length of the minor axis will be 2. So 2 means 1 is here and 1 is here. So we can make an ellipse here. We can make an ellipse here. Okay. So this is the ellipse, the given ellipse with vertex at 0, 2. This length is 2. Here this length is 2, this length is 2. Similarly, this length is 1 and this length is 1. Okay. So this is the given ellipse. Now the given function. What is the given function? 1 upon z minus 2y square z plus 2y. This is the given function. So this function will not be analytic. The given function will not be analytic at z equal to 2i and z equal to minus 2i. Okay, so these are the 2 points. From here we have z equal to 2i and from here we have z equal to 2 minus 2i. So these are the 2 points at which the given function, the given integrand is not analytic. Now we see where are these points. Here we have, this is the imaginary axis. Okay, so this is 1 and this is 2. Okay, so it means this point is 2i. So z equal to 2i is this point. Okay, now z equal to minus 2i, so it will be on negative imaginary axis. So here we have, this is minus 1 and minus 2. So this is minus 2i. So clearly we can see that z equal to minus 2i lie outside this given ellipse. And this is our contour. C is this ellipse. We have to evaluate this integral into this C. It means we have to evaluate the integral only inside this ellipse. So this z equal to minus 2i lies outside the ellipse. Okay. So only one point z equal to 2i lies inside C. Okay. only z equal to 2i lies inside C. So it means we can write the given function, we can write this function as 1 upon z minus 2i whole square z plus 2i. We can write this as 1 upon, this is z plus 2i and upon z minus 2i square. Okay, so we can write this like this. We have this z plus 2i here and z minus 2i square here. Okay, so now here we have this numerator is our fz now. Okay, this numerator is our fz, and we can see that this fz will be analytic at the point z equal to 2i. We can put here z equal to 2i, there will be no problem. If we put z equal to 2i in the numerator, there will be no problem. Okay, so now this given integral can be written as, suppose the given integral is I, so this I can be written as integral C dz upon z minus 2i square z plus 2i. We can write this as integral C. This is, we can write, we have written this z plus 2i upon z minus 2i square. This is the numerator, and here we have dz. Okay, so here we see that we have now this integral is in the form that integration C fz upon z minus z naught square dz. Okay, this integral is in this form, integral C. This is something fz upon z minus z naught square dz. So here, since we have a square, so we will use Cauchy's integral formula for derivatives, and here this integral will be equal to 2 pi I into f dash at z naught by using the Cauchy integral formula for derivative, and for n equal to 1, because we have power 2, so n will be equal to 1. Okay, so 2 pi I f dash z naught. It means if we have, this is our fz 1 upon z plus 2i. Okay, so here fz is 1 upon z plus 2i. So we need first derivative. So we will differentiate this f dash z. So f dash z will be equal to, we will differentiate this. This is minus 1 upon z plus 2i whole square. Okay, and we want to find this value of f dash z at z naught. So what is z naught here? Z naught is 2i. So we can put here. So this is f dash at 2i. So when we put 2i here, this will be minus 1 upon 2i plus 2i, 4i whole square, that is 16i square, or this will be equal to 1 upon 16. Okay, so now we will put this value. So suppose we put this value here. So this is equal to, we have this formula 2 pi I f dash z naught. So this is equal to 2 pi I and f dash z naught. F dash z naught, the value of f dash z naught is 1 upon 16. So if we put here 1 upon 16, so this is equal to pi I upon 8. Okay, so this is the value of the integral pi I upon 8. In this way, we can solve all the integrals of the type whenever we have a power 2 or 3 or 4. So we can use Cauchy's integral formula for derivatives. Okay, suppose we have here power 3. So there will be no problem. Here if we have power 3, so this will be 2 pi I upon 2 factorial, and here we have f double dash, second derivative. We can find second derivative of fz, and we will put the value, the given point z naught. Okay. We have one more important concept, which is Cauchy's theorem for multiply connected domains. So if you want to know about multiply connected domains, you can see my previous lectures. So let us take first of all a doubly connected domain. Suppose we have this region, and here we have this part is excluded, so it will be a doubly connected domain. We suppose this domain is D. Okay, so this is a doubly connected domain. Now we want to see what will be Cauchy's theorem for doubly connected domain. First we take doubly connected domain. So for that we make a cut from here. So suppose we make this cut and we write, suppose this boundary we take C and this we take C1, and these are, suppose we take P and Q. Okay. So when we make a cut from here, we can write this will become like this, because we have made a cut. So this domain will become like this. Here this is C, this is C1, this is PQ in this direction, and this is PQ in this direction. When we make a cut from here, so why we make this cut? To make the doubly connected domain as simply connected domain. So when we make a cut from here, this will become this part will become a simply connected domain. Okay. So I have already told all this in the previous lectures. Now we see what will be Cauchy's theorem. So since in this domain, this is the simply connected domain, so we are taking a function fz which is analytic in this simply connected domain. We are taking a function which is analytic in this part. Okay. So if fz is analytic, if fz is analytic, then we have integral. Suppose we move from here, so this is integral along C. So integral along C, we are taking the boundary, plus integral along PQ. This is the PQ, and now we are moving in this direction, and but we have taken the direction of C1 as this anti-clockwise, but we are moving in this direction from here, this direction, and then this, and then we are moving in this direction. It means we are moving against this direction, so we can take this as C1 star, which is opposite direction of C1. So this will be C1, suppose this is star, and now plus, now we come here, and this QP, integral QP. Okay. So these the integral along this boundary can be written in this form: fz dz. Because this function fz is analytic in this part, in this domain, simply connected domain, it means we can use Cauchy's theorem, and the integral along this with fz dz will be 0. Now here we can see that we are taking integral along PQ and we are taking integral along QP of this same function fz. It means this is integral along PQ and QP. This is the line integral, and only the directions are opposite. So these integrals will be, the value of this integral will be equal, only the direction is opposite. It means they are negative of each other. So it means we can say that this integral and this integral cancel out each other. The sum of these two integrals will be 0. Okay. So only the remaining is integral C and plus integral C1 fz dz. So we can write this as integral C fz dz plus integral C1 star fz dz equal to 0. Okay. So now C1 star is in the opposite direction of C1, so we can write this as integral minus of integral C1. So we have integral C fz dz minus integral C1 fz dz equal to 0, or from here we can write integral C fz dz is equal to integral C1 fz dz. So this is one of the important result that we have here, that integral C fz dz is equal to integral C1 fz dz. So for a doubly connected domain, these two integrals are same. Means integral C fz dz is equal to integral C1 fz dz. Now if we take a triply connected domain, so similarly we can find the result for triply connected domain. Means if we have a domain D, and if we have here two holes. Okay, suppose this is C, this is C1, and this is C2. Okay, so if we have a function fz which is analytic in this domain is D. This is a triply connected domain. We can make a triply connected domain. simply connected domain by using two cuts. One cut suppose we take from here and other cut suppose we take from here. So when we take these two cuts, this triply connected domain will become a simply connected domain. So if this region will become a simply connected domain, and if we take a function fz which is analytic in this simply connected domain, so it means again we can use Cauchy's theorem for this part of simply connected domain. So integral fz dz will be 0, and when we use like this, because when we make a cut from here, the integral along this direction and integral along this direction will be equal. So those will cancel out each other. Similarly, the integral along this direction and integral along this direction will be equal. So those will cancel out each other. So after using the Cauchy's theorem, similarly we can write for a triply connected domain that similarly we can write integral c fz dz will be equal to integral c1 fz dz plus integral c2 fz dz. That is, integral along this c will be equal to integral along c1 plus integral along c2. Okay. So this is a formula we can use. This is the Cauchy's theorem for triply connected domain, and similarly we can extend it for multiply connected domains. If we have multiple holes like this, then we can make multiple cuts and then we can use the theorem for multiply connected domains. So this is an important concept. We can use this concept to evaluate many integrals of the type whenever we have domains like doubly connected or triply connected. So we can use this concept. Now we want to solve this problem in which we are given integration e raised power z upon z squared z plus 1 cube dz, where c is mod z equal to 2. So clearly it will be a circle with radius 2 and center at origin. Okay. Now this is the integration. The function is e raised power z upon z squared plus z plus 1 cube. This is the given function, e raised power z upon z squared z plus 1 cube. Okay. This is given function. Now we will see whether this function is analytic in this domain or not. Clearly the numerator is exponential z. This will be analytic everywhere. This function will not be analytic if the denominator is 0. So the denominator will be 0 when z equal to 0 and z equal to minus 1. So this function is not analytic at z equal to 0 and z equal to minus 1. Okay. So we can see that this is z equal to 0 origin and z equal to minus 1. It will be on real axis since the radius is 2. So suppose this is minus 1. Okay, since the radius of this circle is 2. So on halfway it will be minus 1. So this is z equal to minus 1 and this is z equal to 0. So we can see that both the points z equal to 0 and z equal to minus 1 lie within this circle, within this given contour. Okay. So now first we see what is the difference between this problem and the previous problems. We know that the Cauchy integral formula for derivative is this. Nth derivative at z naught, this is equal to n factorial upon 2 pi I integral c fz upon z minus z naught to the power n plus 1. Okay. So if z naught is any point inside the given contour, and if this function fz is analytic, then we can find this. We can use this formula, and the derivative at z naught is this. Okay. So by using this formula, we can find the integral. This integral. So by using this formula, we can find this integral. So this is integral c fz upon z minus z naught to the power n plus 1. This is equal to 2 pi I upon n factorial and nth derivative at z naught, and derivative of the function at z naught. So you can see that in this formula, this is dz also. So you can see that in this formula, here in the denominator we have one factor z minus z naught and some power. That may this may power maybe 1, 2, 3 or 4. So we have only one factor here. The point is z naught, which is inside that given domain or given contour. Okay, but here we have 2 points. z equal to 0 and z equal to minus 1, and both lie inside the given contour. So here you can see that we cannot use this formula directly in this problem because there are 2 points which are included in the domain. Okay, so what will we do now? So anyhow, what we have to do? We have to separate this z square and z plus 1 cube. If we can separate this z square and z plus 1 cube, then we can use this formula. So now there are 2 ways to solve this problem. The first way is we can use the method of partial fraction. Okay, if we can use the method of partial fraction and we can separate them. Okay, so this is easy method, partial fraction, but somehow it becomes tedious when we have higher powers. As here you can see that we have square and cube, and suppose we have powers 4, 5 or 6, so this method will become very lengthy. So you can solve by using the method of partial fraction, but here we will use the concept of multiply connected domains. I will use this concept to solve such problems. The method solve the concept of multiply connected domains. Okay, so what will we do here now? In what is this method? This is point z equal to 0. We here take a small circle and closing this point. Suppose this is some circle C1, and similarly we take another circle, a small circle here, and closing this point. Suppose this is another circle C2. Okay, so we have seen that if we have such if we have doubly connected or triply connected, or in general we can say multiply connected domain, then this integral c f z dz is equal to the integral c1 f z dz plus integral c2 f z dz. So we can use this concept here to solve such problem. This is integral c, this is f z dz. So we can write this integral c, this e raised power z upon z square z plus 1 cube dz. We can write this integral as integral c1. Okay, so when we write c1 is this circle, we write this z square in the denominator and we write e raised power z upon z plus 1 cube in the numerator dz. Okay, plus integral c2. So when we take this integral along c2, then we write this z, because this is point z equal to minus 1, so we write this z plus 1 cube in the denominator and this e raised power z upon z square in the numerator dz. Okay, so here this integration can be solved by decomposing this into 2 integrals. Suppose this is I1 and this is I2. Okay, so we suppose this is I1 and this is I2, and the left hand side we suppose it is equal to I. So now we solve these 2 integrals I1 and I2, and after solving these 2 integrals we will put these values here to find the value of I, this given integral. So now we can see that the numerator is analytic in this contour for C1. E raised power upon z plus 1 is analytic, so this f z is analytic for C1, and here we have z square. So we can use this formula for n equal to 1. If we put n equal to 1, it will here this will be power square, and similarly here it is z plus 1 cube. So if we put n equal to 2, so it will be cube. So we can use this formula, Cauchy's integral formula, for derivatives in this integral here. Okay, so for this is fz. For I1 this is fz, and for I2 this is fz. Okay, so here now we put this value I is equal to, from here what we have, 2 pi I upon n factorial, and a derivative. So this is, we have 2 pi I upon n factorial. So for the first integral n is equal to 1, that is 1 factorial, and it will be first derivative. So I will write in this way. First derivative means d upon dz of this function, numerator, e raised power z upon z plus 1 cube. Okay, the derivative of this, and at the point what, z equal to 0. At the point z naught is 0 here. Plus, now the second integral, again we put n equal to 2 for this integral. So this is 2 pi I upon 2 factorial, and now we have second derivative of which function? This e raised power z upon z square. e raised to power z upon z square, integral 2 times, and at the point z equal to -1. Okay. Now simply we solve. First we differentiate this one time and then put z equal to 0. Here we differentiate this function 2 times and then we put z equal to -1. Okay. So I am putting the values directly. This is 2 pi I. When you solve this, when you differentiate this and put z equal to 0, you will get -2, and plus here this is cancelled, only we have pi I, and when you differentiate this 2 times and put z equal to -1, you will get 11 upon e. Okay. So now we will solve this. This is equal to, you can take pi I common. So this will be 11 e inverse -4. If we take pi I common, this will be 11 e inverse -4. So this is the value of the integral I. Okay. So we can use this concept of multiply connected domain to solve such integrals when we have here higher powers. If you have 1 power or 2 power or 3 power, then you can use the method of partial fractions. But if you have higher powers, then this method is very useful.